Hello and welcome everybody to episode 4 of my Wise Words Wednesday audio series. I hope that you're all doing well. I hope you've been negotiating the energies of this last week. We've had a full moon and a partial lunar eclipse, so things have been a bit heavy, so I hope everyone's doing okay. Thank you so much for everyone who's listening to the replay of this. Hello. This is, of course, recorded live on Facebook, but the replays are obviously always available, and also they'll be played through my website on YouTube and on SoundCloud as well, and anywhere else that this may end up. So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you. My name is Holly. I'm a holistic and spiritual entrepreneur. I'm a holistic and spiritual healer, a tarot reader, a light worker. I'm also a spiritual development facilitator, spiritual medium, and modern day mystic. I suppose you could describe me as. I aspire to inspire others to live happier and healthier and more spiritual lives. And, I'm trying to find as many ways as I can of doing that. And one of those ways is this new series that I've started. So if you've missed any of the previous episodes, I discussed subjects such as self-love, how to clear and protect your energy, and also the importance of having the right mindset. So if any of those subjects are things that you're interested in, please do go back and have a look and check them out. I'm trying to keep these episodes short and sweet, and I'm making them to bring a bit of wisdom and inspiration be brought into your days. So obviously these subjects that I'm covering, that are massive, huge talking points that could be stretched out over hours and hours. So I'm simply offering a starting point for your own investigation. I'm trying to bring you practical advice from my own personal experience, and every so often some wise words that come from the universe, thrown in there as well. But I would like to say that, sometimes I might forget to chuck things in, and in which case, I will chuck it in the comments below, but like I said, these are just starting points. So I do plan on doing future episodes of this. So if there are subjects that you want me to cover in more detail, then I can come back and cover those things and check in the things that I've missed. So like I said, in this episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about the law of attraction, what it is and how it works, and some examples of things that I've manifested into my own life, how I've done that, and some tips and tricks and things to be aware of that can block manifestation as well. Okay, so basically, everyone listening to this has probably heard of the law of attraction anyway. But it can be summed up in phrases such as like attracts like, having an attitude of gratitude, fake it till you make it, energy flows where attention goes, thoughts become things. These are all expressions that are important for you to keep in mind when you're trying to use the law of attraction, or when you're questioning why bad things keep happening to you in your life, or why challenges keep turning up in your path. Essentially, whatever it is we think about, we attract to ourselves. The more passion and emotion that we pour into our thoughts, the faster these things manifest into our lives. Everything is energy and everything has a specific frequency. So we need to try and get on the frequency of the thing that we're trying to manifest into our lives, if that makes sense. Everything in our lives is the result of a previous thought that we've had. There is no such thing as coincidences. Now, it can be a bitter pill to swallow and very hard to face up to, that we attract things into our life. How can we attract this horrible thing that's happened into our life? And subtly, in some way, we have done that, and it takes a lot of deep diving and exploring ourselves and challenging our beliefs about ourselves that can really bring these answers to the forefront. So knowing yourself is very important, as I will stress in all areas. Now, unfortunately, the society that we live in is very much a fear-driven society. And as such, the majority of people, regardless of their situation, are living in a lack mentality, where either they believe there is not enough to go around, you have to work hard to make ends meet, you haven't got enough money to do this, you're too poor to do that, people are not worthy of things, all men are dickheads or bastards, or however you want to put it. All women are horrible. Bitches be crazy. Nothing comes easily. I'm too fat. I'm too ugly. I'm too old. No one's going to take me seriously. I'm not worthy of love, etc., etc. Inviting people, situations, or events into our lives that reinforce these beliefs. And also, we want to see as well, on the back foot of that, is that if we expect to see something, we will ignore all the other contrary evidence and just see what reinforces that belief. Again, that's when knowledge of self becomes important, and all of this is true of the victim mindset as well. But all of it can be turned around by changing our mindset from one of lack to one of abundance, or focusing our energy on what we want rather than what we don't want. We can change it all. Yeah. So I first came across this concept in the book The Secret. Now, this is not something new. This is a book that's been around for a very long time. And I used to joke, me and a friend of mine used to joke that we should have commission for the number of people that we recommended this book to, because it literally is a game changer, absolutely life-changing book. It's like I said, it's called The Secret. It's by Rhonda Byrne. If you're not a reader, then it's also available as an audiobook as well, which is highly recommended, because you can carry on doing your bits and bobs, doing what it is you got to do, and you can listen to the amazing information, the amazing advice that is within this. But it's also available as a documentary film. They made a documentary of it, so go and check that out. I know that it is available on YouTube, so you can go check it out for free. You don't even have to pay subscription to anything to get it, okay? But yeah, like I said, it absolutely changed the course of my life. I began my journey of consciously creating my life and focusing what it was that I wanted in my life, not just allowing myself, for the most part, not allowing myself to be treated in a way that I didn't want to be treated, and, stop letting life just happen to me and create the life I wanted for myself. I really started to take life by the horns after I read this book. And, I actually got myself out of a very unhappy relationship as a result of this book. I went and signed up to a college course and changed my career as a result of this book. And everyone, you've just got to go and read it. Hello, I can see a couple of people who jumped on and are listening. I can't see who you are, but thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate having you here. Just talking a little bit about the law of attraction and how it works. Another really good book that I recommend on the subject is a book called Is My Life Mapped Out by Dr. David Hamilton. Now, I'm a huge, huge fan of his. He's an incredible motivational speaker, author, very, very inspirational indeed. And what it says in this book is that according to people working in the field of quantum physics, that the past, present, and future all exist in the exact same space. So once we put a request out to the universe, the result is automatically created. We just have to trust and wait for our orders to arrive and to step into the space where that exists. Now, I know that might sound pretty far-fetched, but trust me on this. If you kind of start looking at the world through those eyes, that if once the order is sent out that it's actually created, we just have to wait for it. It makes manifesting so much easier, and it makes so much easier to believe that it's coming to you. Now, there was a philosopher from years ago. Oh, hello, Paul. Hi. Thank you for joining. There's a philosopher called Rumi who said that we have to live life as if everything is rigged in our favour. That's an unyielding belief that everything is going to come to us that we ask for. And our thoughts literally affect our physiology in our bodies. Okay, so it's not just a case of affecting our surroundings and what we attract into our life, but it actually physically affects our bodies as well. We just have to look at things like the placebo effect, which is quite well known these days, and also the Emoto water experiments. This is something that I highly suggest you look into. But basically, there's a doctor in Japan whose experiments have been repeated around the world, and he essentially just taped words onto flasks of water and froze them, and depending on what word was written on the bottles, whether it is a loving word or a hateful word, it would affect the crystalline structure of the water as it froze. So anything with a loving, nurturing word written on it would have beautiful, fantastically symmetrical ice crystals, whereas those with negative, hateful words had very disjointed, very broken up, very asymmetric water crystals forming. So just imagine the effect these words and these thoughts that we have are affecting our bodies as well. So just that's something to bear in mind when we're thinking about self-talk and the language we use when we're talking to ourselves, okay? There's another really good documentary that I recommend everyone should watch. I know Paul has watched this as well. It's What the Bleep Do We Know? And it is incredible. And again, it really, really changes the way that you think about your interactions with the world around you, the importance of getting out of old habits of thought patterns, and what we focus our energy and our time thinking about. So yeah, as I said, we need to break old patterns and avoid negative thinking. We need to trick our bodies into believing that we already have what it is that we want. Again, like I mentioned in my last episode, if anyone listened to that, it all comes back to mindset. You know, whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you are always right. So whether you believe something is coming to your life or whether you believe it's not going to work and it won't happen, whichever you think, that's going to be true for you. So, you know, it's always best to believe in these things. Now, things I've manifested into my life and my experiences. Now, I've experienced so much positive results using the law of attraction. Countless things, too many to list really, but the main things in my life-changing things, I manifested my partner without a shadow of a doubt through writing a list, like a shopping list, of what I wanted my next partner to be like, having come out of two horrible relationships. There he was. Every single thing on my list, he just turns up through a series of absolutely crazy coincidences. As I said before, no such thing as coincidence. Crazy synchronicities. You know, we really tuned into each other, and we manifested each other into each other's lives, really. But that is just a story for another day, really. But yeah, so I truly believe that. I have manifested clients, abundance and success in my business, right down to very specific amounts, actually. When I first decided that me and my partner wanted to move in together, there was a specific amount of money that I needed to earn each week in order for me to be able to afford to move out of living at my parents' house and move in with my partner. And so I put it out there to the universe. You know, I'm so happy and grateful that now I am earning said amount a month to be able to move in with my partner. And not 2 days after I started this mantra, for want of a better way of describing it, I had a phone call off someone, a dear friend of mine, saying, you know who you are if you're listening, saying, I'm having a change in direction in my career, and I have this set of clients that I no longer want to work with anymore. Do you want them? And the exact amount of money that they added up to each week was the exact amount of money that I asked for. Whew, and I'm getting tingles just talking about it. And another amazing thing is, again, like I said about writing specific shopping lists, I wrote a specific list of what I wanted in the house that we were going to move into. And, you know, everyone said, there's no way that you're going to be able to get a house with all of those things on it. The specific things that I was asking for. It was right down to the silliest little detail. You know, like, I want to have a lovely landlord, lovely neighbours. I want to be close enough walk to go to the woods. I want to have a great garden for my kids to play in, and a lovely kitchen, and I want a space where I can just sit and meditate and use as a workspace, and I want this number of bedrooms and this and that and the other. You know, we wanted a garage and a driveway, and lo and behold, we manifested a house with every single thing on that list. And it was the second house we looked at, and as soon as we walked into the house, I knew. The more I walked around the house and the more I looked at everything, I just started to get more and more excited. And as soon as we left the house, we went straight to the office and signed the papers for the house. Because, you know, you have to act. It's something I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But once you get that impulse, you have to act. Because, you know, you're asking the universe for these things. You've got to use your intuition to act on them to get them when you need them. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the tools that I used. So I've used journaling. I write down anytime, anywhere, things like I'm happy and grateful for this, that and the other. Vision boards are a really great tool. Particularly I like Pinterest for pinning things on. That's where I put my vision boards rather than making physical ones. For manifesting the house, I actually wrote a check. A friend of mine gave me a check. It was just a piece of paper that looked like a check from the Bank of Abundance, and I wrote on the check everything. You know, I want the perfect house. I want everything that I want on my list, and it's going to be the house that we live in for many years, and we're very, very happy together. And 2 days after I wrote that check, that's when we went to view the house, and it was, you know, it would just happen so quickly. You've got to try and avoid negativity. You've got to try and stay positive and avoid any negative triggers. Now, for me, we don't have TV. One of the reasons that I made sure that I wasn't going to have a TV anymore was because there's just too much on there that would trigger me to get angry or annoyed or despair at the state of the world and the state of things. So now we don't have TV. I avoid the things that push my buttons, that make me cross, so I can try and stay in a positive mindset, that I can try and stay uplifted as much as possible. Now, another really beneficial thing for me that I think I've harnessed in using the law of attraction is being aware of times of cosmic energy that are going to help with clearing negativity and manifesting abundance and prosperity. So specifically, I'm talking about full moons and new moons. New moons are really great at setting intentions for what you want to achieve, planting seeds for manifestation, and full moons are a time of clearing away the dead wood, clearing away what no longer serves you. This is why we can get quite emotional and het up at full moons, like the one that we've just had, because literally everything is coming to the surface and swelling to the surface, that we can just to help us get rid of it. Things that we think we've repressed, that we've dealt with, that, that's old, we don't need to talk about that anymore, it's gone from me. All of a sudden these emotional things start coming up. So it's a really good time to deal with that and release it, to help then clear the way for the things that you want to come into your life. So, my top tips for manifestation and manifesting the life that you want. Write about what you want as if you already have it. Okay, anywhere that you can find it, in the backs of diaries, in a journal, on a scrap piece of paper. I am so happy and grateful that I have this in my life. I am so happy and grateful for the abundance that I'm experiencing. I am so happy and grateful now I have the body that I've always wanted. I am so happy and grateful now I'm living in the house of my dreams. I'm so happy and grateful now I am accepted for who I truly am. I'm so happy and grateful for being treated the way that I deserve to be treated, and so on and so forth. And the more we write it, the more we believe it, the more it is gonna, the more quickly it's gonna manifest into our lives. Okay, use vision boards to help solidify your request and to help you visualize what it is that you're trying to bring into your life. Make your visualizations as detailed as possible. Close your eyes, feel this. If, say for example, if travel is one of your things that you're trying to manifest, close your eyes. Feel the sand between your toes. Feel the breeze on your face. Smell the smell of the sea. Do it in as much detail as you can, as often as you can. Focus on the end result and let the universe take care of the how. Don't worry about how things are going to turn up. Don't worry about how the pieces of the puzzle are going to fall into place. Don't worry about that. Just focus on what it is that you want. And don't keep focusing on the bad things that have happened in your life. Focus on the good things. Focus on what you appreciate, because the more you focus on the bad things that have happened, the universe can see that as a request for wanting more of the same, okay? So yes, it's okay to talk about it when you've had a problem. It's okay to talk, and the old expression, a problem shared is a problem halved, and that is so, so true. But don't dwell on it. Don't keep bitching and moaning about it. Don't keep spreading the negativity to other people, and holding yourself in that space. That's not going to invite new happiness into your life. So get it out of your system and then move on to the next thing, okay? You need to meditate and visualize regularly. It can take some work, particularly if it is a big change from where we are in our life and what we've been requesting our whole lives. But take time out daily, if you can, to visualize what it is that you want, whether it's in the shower, whether it's before you get out of bed in the morning, whether it's when you're going to bed in the night. Focus on how well you want the next day to go. Don't focus on the bad things that happened in the day that's just been gone. Focus on a good tomorrow, and tomorrow will be good. Don't be selfish or ask for things that will solely benefit you. The more altruistic that you are, the more you want to help others, the more you want to better yourself for the benefit of others. Or, that could be misconstrued, but the more you want to improve yourself to improve how you interact with the world, let's say, for your happiness, and the more you want to help others, the more your requests will be fulfilled. But like I said already, and I'm coming back to this to really, really drum it in, you must use your intuition and be brave. The people, places, and things that we need to help bring our visions to reality will be brought to us at the right time. We just need to trust our intuition and have the courage and faith to act. Nothing will happen without our action, okay? So believe that it's going to truly happen. There's David Hamilton, who I mentioned earlier, uses the analogy of like a sprouting seed, and it's sprouting up and up and up, coming towards the surface of the earth, and it's about to burst free. And if we say, this isn't working, it's bollocks and it's not happening, that little seed is going to shrivel back up and go away. So we could literally be about to manifest what it is that we've been waiting for, and that moment of doubt saying this isn't coming, this isn't happening, we'll completely shoot it down and we'll stop it in its tracks. So you've got to stay positive, you've got to believe that it's coming. Okay, you've got to be careful with the language you use, because again, you could be reinforcing more of what you don't want into your life. If you're saying, I can't do this and I can't do that, well, you're reinforcing that. Say, well, I can't do that yet. You know, the yet is a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. So you've got to try your best to coax yourself into a happy place and surround yourself with the things and the people to reinforce what you're trying to achieve, okay? So make a music playlist that makes you happy. Watch something funny, whether it's cat videos, laughing babies, whether it's stand-up, whatever it is that makes you laugh, watch it and get yourself in a happy place. Read inspirational books, watch inspirational people. YouTube is amazing for all these people that can really inspire you. Follow inspirational people on social media. My Instagram is absolutely jam-packed with motivational quotes, motivational speakers every single day to help me stay in that mindset of attracting what it is that I want into my life. You know, they also say that I can't remember the expression precisely, but they say that you are a combination of the people that you spend the most time around. So if your social media accounts are full of people bitching and moaning and whining, then, you know, you're going to have some of that energy rubbing off on you. Whereas if you're filling your news feeds and your Facebook feeds with things that are really positive and encouraging you to go out and be your best version, that are encouraging you to go out there and take it, that are telling you, yes, these things are coming to you, then, you know, you're more likely to stay in that mindset and believe that it's going to come to you. Like I already mentioned as well, it's important to harness times of energetic potency like full moons and new moons to attract and release things into your life. But essentially just avoid drama and have an attitude of gratitude. Just really focus on things that you're grateful for, okay? And you'll attract more things to be grateful for into your life. I hope this has given you some inspiration and motivation. I hope I didn't go off on too many tangents. Like I said, it's such a huge subject area. There's whole books and seminars and films written on this subject. But as I mentioned previously, have a look at the book The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. It's also got 2 follow-ups, The Power and The Magic, which are all about how to put these things into action. So do check them out. They're also all available on audiobooks. So get them in your headphones and get listening. The films I mentioned, as I said, The Secret, but also What the Bleep Do We Know? They're both on YouTube. So go and check them out. If you have any questions or experiences and tips about using the law of attraction in your life, please put them in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this, then please share it. Thank you so much for listening. I'm so grateful that you've come along to listen to what I have to say. Please follow me on my social media accounts. That's Holly's Holistic Healing on Facebook, at holistic_Holly on Instagram and Twitter if you don't already. And please check out my website. It's hollysholistic.healing.co.uk. Next week's episode is going to be about how everything changes when you start living authentically. So yes, thank you so much again. I appreciate you so much. Love, light, and many blessings. Namaste.